Impacted! We are impacted! Impacted! We're ready to get up! We want to win! Light the fire of power that make us free! We never break down! We want to win! We are impacted! The best team!
Hello and welcome back to TNI-UK Impacted, coming to you live via the Total Nonstop Impact Network on YouTube and, of course, Twitch. I am your host, Bison, and today I am joined by the one and only Joker and, of course, the man simply known as Steve. Hello, fellas. How are we doing?
Okay, thank you. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing very, very well. Looking forward to talking about loads of stuff today. Loads and loads of stuff. How's your week's been, all right?
I've hit and miss, yeah. Up and down. All over
Bit hit and miss, but other than that, not too bad. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, we're all good over here. Cheers. Yeah, still.
I thought earlier you were in a bit of a bad mood, brother. I thought he's in a bit of a bad mood in the messenger. But
I'm always in a bad mood.
That's true. That's true. You are, to be fair. But I'm glad to see that you're all smiles and light today. So, well, now should I say, not necessarily earlier, but certainly smiles.
Here with the TNI family, what can put me in a better mood?
Exactly. There we go. So we've got a few people in the chat already, which is
people are asking if we
fantastic.
missed anything. We've just got started, guys. So
Yeah.
Literally got started. So we've got J Bones in the house. He's already there. We'll smash his podcast. We got Bonkers. Nice to see you, brother. Keith's in the house. Violet's in the house. Nice to see you. Who've we got? Punk Nova. Nice to see you, mate. Keith. And Zach Bonifer is in the house as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
we are definitely impacted, brothers. We are.
Cocktail hour, brother.
Thank you for joining us. We certainly appreciate you guys coming in from the start.
The math stops right here.
The mask dog's in the
Yeah.
house. We've got it all here. No, Keith, you've not missed anything, brother. So we're just about to get started. We were just talking, doing the small talk, but now we're ready to rock and roll. So let's get straight into the news and rumors. One interesting one, I want to get this one out of the way straight away, was Josh Alexander. Looks like he's not going to appear at No Surrender.
Ooh.
Now, this is come via a social media tweet that that Josh made himself, that he is now open the dates of the weekend that No Surrender, obviously, and the next set of tapes are taking place. So, interesting. What are your thoughts on this? Did you see this, guys, or is this something I only just saw?
I did see a message from him saying he's taking bookings in February. I just didn't cross my mind that No Surrender was on that date. For me, it saves setting up a match to put Josh Alexander in on No Surrender just for the sake of it, and it gives him a bit more room to experiment elsewhere, and it just shows that he's not locked into Impact Wrestling like everyone says he is or thinks he is. He's got the freedom to go everywhere he needs to, and if he wants to. So, and at the moment, there's no real big storyline for him at the moment, seeing as he's now seen off Jonah, and we have this thing with Mike, the Ring of Honor 5 coming in and taking out all of Impact Wrestling, but that doesn't need to involve Josh Alexander, because one of my worries was he'd be taking the helm of that, and then it would throw his whole momentum for the World Championship out the window for a bit longer.
Yeah, definitely. Which is interesting because for me, I still think that this is interesting news, and it's obviously building some kind of storyline or whatever's been going on at the set of tapings that we've not yet seen. So of course these start tomorrow. So what went down? This is the thing. What's gone down at these set of tapings that we're about to find out about? Of course, we try and avoid spoilers, guys. So if you do know anything, please don't say anything in the chat. We don't actually want to know.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing is we're just talking about what we think could happen. It's just all
Josh
speculation.
posted it, so we're reacting to it.
Exactly. He's posted that he's now available for bookings on the same dates of No Surrender and the next set of Impact tapings. Now that's, for us, that's big news, because that means obviously he's now not at No Surrender and he's not at the set of tapings.
Is
the
possibility it could be a swerve? Could we see Josh turn up at No Surrender? Could it be?
He's done it in the past. He did it at Bash at the Brewery with Ethan Page. He went from one end of the country back to Bash at the Brewery and then beat Santana and Ortiz for the tag team championships. So it could be something. It could be a swerve.
Who knows? It could be a swerve. It could be. Maybe he's going to get some work nearby and then just suddenly turn up. And
we've seen a little bit of sort of, like more and more Scott is kind of like really trying to, calm Josh and get with him turning up when he's not meant to be there.
Yeah.
Or, booked there. Would that be the final nail in the coffin or whatever?
One thing that was interesting, I was talking to Steve about this before we came on air, Joe, was that his last promo in the ring, he stated something along the lines of, you give him what he wants or he has to rethink whether Impact is the place for him. If you remember that.
Yeah.
Interesting how, all of a sudden he's not going to be at No Surrender. He's now taking bookings from other companies, etc. So I'm interested to, see how this is now going to play into the storyline from this previous set, this last lot of tapings that we're now going to start seeing as of tomorrow. Very interesting, definitely. Oh, look at that. Donald Hill's just popped in. He's coming in, checking in for a second to say hi. Family and you're up over in Disney. On your way to Disney. Well, have a fantastic time, Donald. Have a fantastic time. Enjoy that, definitely. I know the kids certainly will, that's for sure.
Oh, baby!
Oh, baby. Yeah, so who knows? Have a great time, Donald. I do love a bit of Disney. I've been planning on taking my kids to Disney for a while, but then, of course, COVID hit. So we're hoping to go next year. So fingers crossed we'll go.
Hell yeah! That smells good.
Have a great time.
I went to the one in Paris, and I missed. It was pretty interesting, but I got food poisoning there.
Oh,
yeah, it's a great way.
Yeah.
No. Great way to enjoy your first time abroad with college. You get bloody food poisoning at Disney World in Paris.
Right, I just want to welcome Mir, and it looks like Terrence Sullivan's turned up as well. So we've got a few people turn. Oh, and now Hakeem's popped in as well. Fantastic. So we've got lots of great people to talk, joining us today in the chat. So it's great to see you guys. So interesting times ahead with regards to what's going on with Josh. Fingers crossed. He's going to be around for the future, but we'll just have to wait and see. He's one of my favorites. I know he's some of your favorites, so fingers crossed on that one. Then we go into talking about No Surrender. We've already got a main event put forward for Surrender. Of course, we've got Moose versus Morrissey. Now, that's a main event to be proud of, I think, for an Impact special. The way Morrissey has been going, his in-ring work, his promo work has been fantastic. I think Morrissey is a future world champion. Whether it's going to happen yet, I'm not sure, but I certainly think he's a future face of the company. What are your thoughts on this one, Steve?
Yeah, you've got two real main eventers here. It's tricky because if we didn't have the storyline with Josh, Morrissey is a future main eventer and could very easily be the face of the company right now. But this is going to be a fantastic match because they've built so much heat between the two men. So yeah, this can go in many different directions. The outcome for me, I think we know where it's going, but it's what happens in the aftermath. I think that is going to be more interesting.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Joe? What do you think?
I'm really torn on if Morrissey could actually pull this off. If he could, it would be a huge upset because everyone's been wanting Moose for so long. But W. Morrissey said his intention is to be the face of the company, and no matter how long it takes him to do it, he's going to be the face of the company. And building up a rivalry between him, Josh Alexander, and Moose for Bound for Glorious Anniversary, that would be incredible. That then the build they can get between all three of those guys, and then say if Matt Cardona's still around, have him on the side. Even Brian Myers has hinted he wants the world title now, but chuck him in there, and it can be work wonders. But it's one hell of a main event, one we definitely saw coming, and I'm glad it's so far 1-on-1. And I've no doubt some extra stipulations are going to be thrown in there soon because they're not going to be able to keep their hands away from each other as much as Scott Demore wants it to be. It's not nice and calm and chilled, and let's just get to the main event and not choke slam anybody or powerbomb anyone through the ring or attack security or
there's a lot going on. So I just like to say to Bobby, they're welcome. I'm not sure if I've seen you before, Bobby. Batito, is that right? Batito? Yes. I certainly would love to see Victor Benjamin, Mr. Savage Gent himself, or Mr. Lady Frost, shall we say, turn up on Impact. I think he'd be a great addition.
I'll just say this to Hakeem. I really hope this happens.
Yeah. Oh, if only. It would put McMahon versus Bret Hart to shame.
That would be very good. Yeah, I'd dive with that. Mind you, old Vince has got some serious swagger on him. Do you remember him back in the day when he'd swagger down to the ring? Give him his due. I'll give him his due. But there you go. How about that? So, you got a good selfie, Mir. You got a selfie with Ringside Bill. Nice one. Outstanding. So, so that's interesting stuff. I think No Surrender is going to be great. I'm assuming that over the next, obviously, couple of sets of tapings, we're obviously going to get lots of build up now to the No Surrender special. I'm sure we'll get some matches made tomorrow night, so I'm looking forward to that. Just a very quick one. Happy birthday to Larry D, or Lawrence D, shall we say. Happy birthday, buddy. I had the privilege of interviewing Larry back last year. Really, really great guy. And so all the best to you, my friend. All the best.
Yeah, happy birthday to Larry once again.
Definitely. Now, also, it looked like there was a great turnout in Florida for the Impact 2 days of tapings. Looks like the promotion has been hyping up the New Orleans No Surrender Live special and, of course, TV tapings. Both Moose and Mickie James on the promotional tour once again. They're putting in the legwork, aren't they, old Moose and Mickie? They really are. They were there ahead of time for the Fort Lauderdale tapings. They're now over at New Orleans ahead of time with them as well. So they're really putting in the legwork. It's great to see them pushing Impact. I think things are looking pretty good. What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts? Let's go with Joe on this one.
Yeah, everyone's putting in a hell of amount of effort. Recently, they had all Rosemary, Chelsea Green, Madison Rain, and I think it was Deonna Purrazzo at a meet and greet at the last set of tapings as well for well over 4 hours, and you get like 2 hours of the between all four of them. It was so that was interesting. But Moose is the world champion, so you'd expect him to be going everywhere. And Mickie James is putting in the legwork for NWA, Impact Wrestling, everyone she's working with. And so it just shows that Mickie James isn't here for the sake of being here. She's actually here to be a part of the company, and she is here being a part of the company. It's not just a one-off event. Like, I thought to myself, could this be like when Gail King came back and we had Gail King versus Tessa Blanchard? Could it just be like blown as soon as
one-off?
Yeah. But Mickie James has thrown that out, or expectation, right out the window almost as soon as Deonna Purrazzo took her on at Slammiversary.
I mean, what's interesting is Deanna's been putting in the legwork. We've got Mickie putting in legwork. We've got Moose putting in legwork. There's a lot of legwork going on at the moment between, some top talents.
For reals.
And it's great to see. It's great to see. Because I think all of them are proud to be a part of Impact Wrestling. I think that's a great thing. And to be fair, if people would just watch the product, if these naysayers would just watch the product, they'd see how good it actually is. Whether they'd admit it, they'd probably just keep watching it and not say anything. But that's great to see. And again, like Hakeem said, I'm not surprised that tickets are sold well in Florida after Impact spent most of their time there. Exactly. They were good sales. I mean, it could have been, I'm sure it could have been a bit better. I know the second night wasn't quite as strong as the first, but either way, it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good. So things are looking pretty good. Now we're sort of kind of Impact's on tour, as they say. Now, there was a hint on last week's Impact Wrestling that the quintessential diva is coming to Impact. Now, originally, I wasn't quite sure on who that was because I was thinking, a diva. Oh, is that a play on, an ex-WWE talent or something like that? And then it sort of kind of dawned it was Giselle Shaw who's coming to Impact. Now, this is really interesting because back sort of kind of November time of last year, I saw Giselle Shaw perform at a Wrestle Carnival show, and I have to say she is badass. And again, a wrestler that I think will do fantastic. And I know that she did appear on Impact.
She's done a couple of one night only before.
Yeah, so this isn't the first time, but the fact that she's now actually joining the Knockouts roster properly, this is another great sign of what they're doing with the Knockouts at the moment. They're really doing a great job with the Knockouts. What are your thoughts on Giselle? Joe, I mean, have you seen her before? I'm not sure.
The name was familiar, and I do know she's won a couple of titles on the UK independent scene. She's a Filipino-Canadian wrestler, but she's someone from who's prominently on the UK independent scene at the moment outside of the Canada and US. Yeah. So since this will be the first UK indie talent that has been signed to Impact Wrestling since Joe Hendry. So that's a big step forward, regardless of what anyone wants to say. It's great to see that someone from the UK scene is coming on to Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of high hopes for her because some of the titles she's won is really impressive.
What's also impressive, Giselle, I believe, is a Welsh Canadian. I think.
Yes, she's a Filipino heritage, Welsh Canadian wrestler.
Yeah.
Which is why she's got such a prominent fixture on the UK independent scene, is because she's familiar with the territory.
Exactly, yeah, that's exactly right, Bobby. Yeah, she was quite a fixture on Progress Wrestling. I know she was a feature on Rev Pro in the UK as well, so that she's been around a little bit, which is good to see. Just a quick hello to Terence, by the way, Terence WK over in Ontario, there in Windsor, Ontario, the home of Scott D'Amore. And of course Border City Wrestling. So it's great to have you joining us today, my friend. Thank you for joining us. And like I said, she's done a lot of wrestling. It's interesting. Hakeem's just pointed out there, Giselle did wrestle Tessa a few times, 2018-19 on the Impact-related shows. So there you go. But Giselle Shaw will be a welcomed addition, I think. Welcome addition to the Knockouts roster. Very excited to see what she does in the coming weeks and months. Now, the other thing I was going to say, are we witnessing a Matt Cardona heel turn? And, of course, his challenge to Jordan Grace for the DMC title. I think we are. I think we're starting to see a turn here. And I think when he does eventually fight Jordan Grace, he's going to be full-on heel. I don't know. What do you think, Steve?
It needs to come. It really does. And we know Jordan can bring it. So, I mean, have we seen Cardona one-on-one with a knockout so far?
Not yet, no.
No. But... So, there could be something there. But, it's been building and building, and we've been expecting it at some point. So if it doesn't come... against Jordan, it's going to come at some point because it has to happen. And when it does, I think that will really elevate him to that next level because he is really missing something. And what we know what it is because we've seen him on the indies be what he needs to be in Impact.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has to happen, and Impact have to see that too, because I think that he needs to turn heel, and the sooner the better, really.
I think so. I think heel is his thing. Heel is definitely his thing.
Mm.
A lot of people are saying this, we're sort of kind of seeing a slightly different version, but of Zack Ryder, but it's generally Zack Ryder on Impact. But of course, what people are seeing on the Indies is a proper full on heel, and they are loving it. So I want to see this full on heel version on Impact Wrestling. I don't understand why we're not doing it. He's clearly getting massive accolades for it,
and it may change Chelsea Green's character slightly too.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe she can go full on as well. She needs to go full on. Interesting, Hakeem, what you're saying. Kind of reluctant to see Cardona win the DMC because he already held the belt like that in the WWE, and I don't want to see.
Matt Cardona made a statement that he was the internet champion, so the whole digital media format was essentially his idea in the first place.
I think a lot of people forget that title was not a WWE title.
Yeah, it was Matt Cardona's
idea. It was Matt Cardona's idea. It was Matt Cardona's title from day one. It was never a WWE sanctioned title ever. So although it might have appeared, but it was never sanctioned by WWE.
Yeah. But I'll make a point, like if Matt Cardona does take it off Jordan Grace, Impact are doing a nice balance of keeping the titles on like top talent that are well known, like your Matt Cardonas, like your Mickey Jameses, and then homegrown talent. They've got Trey Miguel and Moose holding the X Division and the world title, and then they've got the inspiration, maybe Matt Cardona, Mickey James, the Good Brothers holding the other titles, who people can say, "Oh, I recognize them." So they've got a nice balance between champions people will recognize and homegrown talent that they've built up to that level. So it's a nice mix at the minute.
Definitely. Steve, could you just pop up Terrence Sullivan's last comment there? Because I totally agree with that, 100%. Yeah. There you go, Terrence. I agree with you, my friend. 110%. That's what Impact should do. But there you go. So there's some interesting stuff, definitely. And I certainly feel that, Matt should definitely go full heel on Impact. I think that will be the making on Impact Wrestling if he can do that.
Straight after issuing that challenge, I think we got this week's clapback of the week from Jordan Grace. If you guys have not seen it, her response to Matt Cardona's challenge for the Digital Media Championship, where she's mocking Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. If that doesn't get the clapback of the week on BTI, then I don't know what the hell will, because that was just hilarious.
I think it was brilliant. Yeah, I think it was brilliant. I think you're right, Hakeem. I think they are doing the slow burn with that heel turn, and they're milking it. They're going to get there, and when it happens, everyone.
You guys swing.
Damn right,
I do. So we've then got now talking about obviously the DMC title. Last week on BTI, we had Lady Frost, who looked absolutely awesome. In defeat, I might add, against Jordan Grace on that BTI show. That match was fire. I'm going to say that now. That match was fire. Whether you agree with me, I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, that match was fire. What are your thoughts? Fire. Yeah, exactly. What are your thoughts, Joe, on that one?
That match was incredible. I was sad that Lady Frost didn't win, but then Jordan Grace losing to Matt Cardona has got a bigger impact in the long run. And Jordan Grace dropping the title in Texas was pretty unlikely too. But Lady Frost, once again, she just smashed down barriers and all expectations. Everyone was thinking, "Oh, this will just be another +1 for the Knockouts roster." Yada yada yada. She beat Kimberly in an impressive debut match on BTI last year. She's gone through Ultimate X. She's now faced Jordan Grace in an almost 15-minute match again. Taking a hell of a beating throughout as well. And she just showed a huge variety of offense in this match too. She's just proven that Impact Wrestling is, well, she's shown why Impact Wrestling was her home and why we believe
I am the greatest.
Lady Frost should
that.
definitely be saying that next.
I love that one. No, she's a what's it? Ice cold killer, mate. That's
She's
what
the
she
ice
is.
cold killer. An ice
Hang
cold,
on.
killer.
Here it is.
Stick a carrot in me and call me Frosty.
There you go. That's the one. That's the one. That's the one. But yeah. So I think, I agree with Hakeem on this one. I hope they make the DMC title feel important for everyone, sort of like, going for it. They need to make that feel important. I think moving forward, what they're probably going to do with it is they're obviously moving BTI to an exclusively available on YouTube and Impact Plus. And then, so obviously BTI will be the new home of the DMC title. So all of the title matches, all that sort of kind of stuff will go onto BTI. Now, if you looked at the BTI, views over the past few weeks, I mean, that they're 100,000 to 150,000 plus. So a lot of people are watching BTI online. Yeah. So it's a good platform. I think if they can get some great matches on there, with that are involving this DMC title or whatsoever, or this digital media type stuff, then who knows what the sort of kind of ratings, if you want to call it that, or the views it's going to get, because I think the more that they put on there, the better. But I can see this. I think moving it online is a great move for BTI. What do you think, fellas? What do you think?
Absolutely. I think the chemistry between Gia Miller and Josh Alexander really helps put it over as well. They bounce off each other so well, and the match quality is fantastic, and the commentary or the presenters are awesome, and it's long enough just to keep you interested and engaged enough to decide whether you want to or not. So watch Impact Wrestling as soon as it's finished. So it doesn't drag on for too long. They've got the balance right now, and just hope it keeps on going.
Yeah. What about you, Steve? What do you think?
Yeah, like I say, I think that it's a good idea. I do think that BTI still needs a few tweakings. Like, I do personally prefer to watch it on repeat, because then I'll just skip over the first 20 minutes and just watch the second half of it, because it is just recaps. So I think they do need to work on.
I think it needs another match. I think it needs a match at the start. I do. I think it needs a match at the start and a match at the end with all the stuff in the middle.
Yeah, the recaps need to be a lot shorter, because you're basically showing everyone you basically
what they've already seen.
Yeah, you don't really need to watch Impact. You just need to watch BTI.
Yeah, yeah. I get that, definitely. Okay, so what we got here then? There was another great match I thought last week on Impact as well, which is the match between Chelsea Green and Tasha Steele. I thought Chelsea was great in this match. I thought she did a good job in this match. Don't get me wrong, it was all about showcasing Tasha, I think, a little bit more. But Chelsea really showed, what she could do in this match. I really enjoyed it. What do you guys think in the chat on this one? Is Chelsea Green putting out some great stuff, even though she lost? Again, same with Lady Frost. In defeat, she still looked awesome, and I felt that Chelsea looked awesome in the defeat in this match as well. When you add all the stuff with regards to Mickie James as well, get them to sort of kind of I don't know what you would call it, sort of kind of joining up at the end after the match kind of thing. So are we going to get to see Chelsea Green and Mickie James as a tag team maybe moving forward? I don't know. But what are your thoughts on Chelsea Green then and Tasha Steele? Let's go with Joe. Exactly.
Chelsea Green is a solid performer, and she just backed it up again on last week, and it is like you said, it was more about putting Tasha Steele over and really showing what Tasha Steele can do. But Chelsea Green took a beating, and she still dished out a hell of a lot of amazing offense. And it's a lot of it you wouldn't have expected to have seen if you'd seen her back when she was Laura Van Ness before she'd taken the Knockouts title. It was all up in the air what she was doing then. But some of the stuff she does now is incredible, and and Impact Wrestling was the platform that gave her the spotlight to begin with. So it's great to see her come back to it now, and show them what she's learned from elsewhere and put it onto here. She's doing an amazing job.
I think so. What about you, Steve? What are your thoughts on Chelsea?
Yeah, Chelsea's always impressed me. Back when she was originally Laurel Van Ness, she's always had that little bit about her where I've always been impressed. And when she came into the company, for some reason, she split fans. There was half the fans that were like, oh, she's fantastic, and others were like, don't know, I'm not really feeling it. But I always thought that her matches were really solid, and I thought her promo work has really been good lately. So yeah, I can really see her, challenging again for the Knockouts title, and even winning maybe the DMC or the tag titles. I can really see her going places. Assuming she sticks around.
Yeah, I think so too, and I'd like to see her. To be honest, I'd love to see her get a run at the actual Knockouts title at some point in the future. She deserved it. She deserved to win it when she won it as Laurel. It was a shame that it was so short because she decided to move on. But at the end of the day, it was interesting to see how that panned out. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see where she goes in the company. I'm enjoying her work at the moment, and I like to see some of the stuff she's been doing on the Indies as well. So again, she's a great social media promoter, which is great to see that as well. And of course, something else that we just spoke about with regards to that particular match was that we're continuing the guest second announcer while D'Lo Brown is recovering at home from the unprovoked attack by Honor No More. And of course, Ian, I forgot his last name, Ian Riccaboni or something, from Ring of Honor, was obviously involved in commentating the Ring of Honor World Title match again with Jonathan Gresham and Steve Maclin, which was good. Obviously, we have Mickey there, so they're continuing to do that, and it's interesting on why, because I think eventually they're going to replace it. Because I think didn't Matthew Raybolt do it as well, which was interesting. It's almost like they tested a few people as well. I mean, Matthew Raybolt would probably make quite a good second announcer. To be fair, if he was to sort of move into that role away from the ring, move into sort of be beside of Tom, it could be Tom and Matthew Raybolt maybe as a commentary team. That could be quite interesting. We know that he's done a bit of commentary on New Japan Pro Wrestling. I know that he's done a bit for Wrestling Revolver as well, which is interesting. So who knows? Maybe they're looking at him as a second announcer as well on the announce table. Maybe. I've said it loads of times, though. I still think it needs a female voice. I think it should be a 3-man booth. I got to say, two guys and a girl.
Maybe they're saving that female for if they do that Knockouts only show.
Maybe we'll get to talk about that a bit later. So talking about Honor No More, what do we all think of this story unfolding, fellas, on Impact? Especially,
it ain't no secret. I need a job.
It ain't no secret they do need a job. But especially as we see Eddie Edwards now leading the charge for the Impact locker room. I know
who's leading it?
Eddie Edwards.
Eddie Edwards. What?
I am the fire.
Whoa! Yeah, exactly. He's leading the charge for the Impact locker room at the moment. I wonder where you were going with that. Interesting stuff. So,
what's this knob dog doing? Okay, Sammy, stop.
Oh, hang on.
What's that?
Interesting.
Actually, I think they were. I think they were. Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping that it's going to be Ian Riccaboni or whatever his name is, because I think his commentary is with Tom was fantastic for the Ring of Honor World Title matches. I think he's been great.
Yeah, and I'd still like to see more of Raybolt in the ring.
Yeah, so would I. He's a great wrestler.
What if it's William Regal? Tommy Dreamer is saying you got the invitation to William Regal. What if William Regal comes in and joins him on commentary?
I'd love it. I'd love an English voice, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'd be incredible. Even just for a week or so, just have William Regal come in and join them on commentary.
To be honest, I'd still be happy if it was D'Lo still.
Oh, I'd be happy with D'Lo. I thought him and D'Lo had great chemistry at Hard to Kill. They bounced off each other a lot more smoother than Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown did. They both gave each other room to talk, and they both gave each other room to get their points across than they needed to. There was less butting in and trying to outdo each other. It was. I think D'Lo Brown's just out for the story. He's going to be back soon. I don't think he's
That's
getting
true.
But what they're doing now is still giving Tom Hannafin more exposure, and it's showing everyone that he can do this job a bit. He's not just there.
He could do it with his hands tied behind his back.
Yeah,
and
he's not just there for the sake of being there. He's not someone just plonked in to replace Matt Striker.
Yeah, he's doing a good.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job. But
It's
talking about what we were talking about, which was what are our thoughts on Honor No More. So I'm liking this storyline. I think it's a good storyline. I like what they did last week with the whole sort of turning up with tickets and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was quite amusing. And I have to say, I am very taken by Vincent, the Horror King. I think he is awesome. Like Matt Taven's great. Don't get me Matt Taven. They're all very good.
They've all got their own spot.
Yeah, they've all got their own niche. They've got their own thing, haven't they? So it's interesting where I think this. What do you think of Honor No More, Joe? Because obviously, what are your thoughts? I guess you like Maria, I'm sure.
Oh, everyone who doesn't like Maria?
Well, I don't like her voice very much, I must admit.
Like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm really impressed. It's really great to see these guys, especially. I don't think all of them are going to be going back with Ring of Honor when they come back in April. So I'm pretty sure Mike Bennett and Maria have definitely signed with Impact Wrestling now. I think the rumors are indeed true, and Mike Bennett's tag team partner might be with Impact Wrestling too. So that's another bonus for Impact Wrestling there. And the way the storyline's been played out.
Well, we've already heard that PCO is signed, haven't we?
Yeah.
As well. I think they're all signed. To be fair,
Vincent would be great in Decay. If Black Taurus had to go or Crazy Steve had to go, he'd slot into Decay or be a rival to Decay. That would work really well too. So they've got 5 extra superstars that can work with everybody on the roster, and it's just great to see. It's really, really great to see, especially Mike Bennett, the history he's got with Moose that's still not been brought to light yet. But any time that's a powder keg waiting to go off and a missed opportunity if it never comes to fruition.
Definitely. What about you, Steve? What are your thoughts on this faction?
Yeah, well, like Joe said, you've got 5 superstars there, and everyone has their own niche. No one overshadows each other. That's why they all stand out so well. I've thought that they've all been with the company since the get-go. But as the story goes on, I'm sure we'll find out more. But I'm really enjoying how this story is going. It's playing out perfectly. Everyone is playing their part to an absolute T. I'm sure that we're going to get more people come in. I don't want too many, because you can have too many that will then, like we've said, be either too similar or can overshadow someone. At the moment, it's just enough. So maybe one more person would, maybe as they spoke about, a figurehead. So maybe one more person to be that leader would be perfect. So yeah, Impact at the moment are playing this perfectly.
Yeah, definitely. Now, it's interesting. Critical Sting's brought up there that if William Regal was to come in, it wouldn't be commentary, be his first thing. One thing which is pretty good about Impact Wrestling is that everybody has multiple roles, unless you're, specifically brought in to wrestle. A lot of the backstage people, like D'Lo, is also a producer. And I think that's interesting that if William Regal came in, I'm pretty certain that his only role within the company wouldn't be as a commentator. Even if he did come in and do commentary, he would be doing other backstage stuff too.
Oh, commentary was the last thing. Was like the last on my list of what I had thought for William Regal. He's one of the best talent scouts out there, and one of the best guys to keep morale up in the locker room, keep guys in check, to help train
this
people.
Is another good call.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, there is history there between Marie and Chelsea. However, in Ring of Honor, they were sort of best mates. So,
yeah,
Oh yeah, but that's what could Chelsea for the fact they were best mates.
it's because of Maria. We got the hot mess as well.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's so much stuff going on. There's so much stuff that they can draw on by bringing these guys back in from a story perspective from the past. There's loads of stuff that they can renew, possibly, and make better and all that kind of stuff. But I think there's a lot in there. There's a lot in there. Now, talking about kind of factions or whatever you want to call it. We've also got the Influence taking out Rosemary at last week's Impact Wrestling. Now, it seemed very calculated that they took out Rosemary specifically. Yes, could it have been just because they wanted to go 2-on-1 with Havoc in that match, or was there any other reason for taking Rosemary out at that point? I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
To begin with, my initial thought was maybe she picked up a slight injury from the Ultimate X. That was only, if we're being...
so they were just taking her out?
Yeah, out of the wrestling landscape. That was only taped the day after, wasn't it? So, yeah, maybe she did pick up an injury. However, this could play into a storyline, couldn't it? You've got, obviously... the Influence who have just taken out someone from the Decay, and obviously we know something that's come up a bit recently in a match change. They could use the fact that maybe Decay have taken out someone from the Influence.
There's definitely scoping there to sort of kind of like add a little bit more sort of kind of wood to the fire in this one and take it a little bit further. Could it be that's creating a revenge now for Rosemary on the Influence to come back and mess up any tag team title plans possibly? What do you think, Joe?
Funnily enough, when this came out, people were saying, "Oh, is Rosemary not re-signed? Is she gone?" It's like
the usual.
Yeah,
the usual.
Rosemary is called Impact Wrestling home. She is not going anywhere. Rosemary did that diving spear to Alicia Edwards at Hard to Kill. So if that didn't, and she landed on her shoulder. If that didn't bang her shoulder or anything, then, or cause an injury, then she must be indestructible. Yeah, because the landing both of them took from that, they nearly went over the rope. The angle Rosemary hit Alicia Edwards with that spear, it was incredible. So I think this is all an angle to just give Rosemary a bit of time off to heal up.
Just rest a little bit.
And we do know that the thing with that Dash was going to be missing from the match this week for the tag team titles. So like I could see them, they can Impact can play on this instantly and have Decay take out Tennille Dashwood. Yeah. And Courtney Rush has even when this match was announced, she said that Caleb is so underrated. You guys need to keep an eye on this match.
Yes, I saw that as well. Yeah, I saw that as well. So, yeah, looking forward to that match. Actually, I've got that on my list of things to talk about later. We've then got
jumped ahead.
No, that's all right. We've then got Steve Maclin staying in character for his Ring of Honor title match with Jonathan Gresham. There was no handshake at the beginning, no handshake at the end. He was just full on.
That son of a bitch.
Exactly, he was just a son of a bitch. There's no doubt about that. But it was a very, very good match. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I watched it a couple of times. What were your thoughts on this one, Steve?
I love this match.
I had a funny feeling that was coming.
Yeah, no, like I sort of say that Maclin is. I think since that match with Trey, he's now elevated himself even further. If we thought that was possible, and it like we said previously, we weren't really sure if this match was going to slightly hinder him or excel him, but it really excelled him. It really did, and I loved the finish because you had a submission that was being used or elevated by the ropes, and you really thought, you've never obviously seen it before because it can't be done, and you didn't expect it. So yeah, it was a fantastic match. I love this pure rules thing. I really do, and I know it splits audiences, but I'd love to see more of this stuff because it's one of those matches that really keeps you guessing.
You should have watched more Ring of Honor then, mate. It
Yeah.
used to have that on every week.
Isn't it something that Jonathan Gresham's only just recently introduced?
He's
Or is it something that was around?
He's brought it back.
There's actually a title in Ring of Honor. It was called the Pure
Okay.
title. And it's just that he had the Pure title for a while, but they've had it for years. This particular title. For me, it's kind of like what the almost like the Grand Championship should have been. A very similar type of thing, you know what I mean? But they've made this work, and I think it's good. I think it's great.
Definitely.
And I like it. I do like the pure wrestling stuff. So I thought I really enjoyed this match. I thought Steve was great, sticking to character, but at the same time, it was just a really good match. Can I just welcome Courtney to the chat? Hello, Courtney. Nice to see you. Better late than never, sweet cheeks.
Yeah.
So it's all good. Now, Deanna also on social media this week has been hinting at Tony Storm being a perfect fit for Impact. Now, I agree with this. So I could see Tony Storm turning up as part of the Knockouts roster. We know that recently, obviously, asked for a release from WWE, which was granted. We also know that I think Tony is the other half of Juice Robinson. We also know that Juice is very high on Impact as well. So, who knows? Oh, I believe also she's one of Deanna's best friends, along with your Britt Bakers and your Chelsea Greens. So there must be some kind of little group there. They're all good friends. So it'd be interesting to see whether Tony does turn up on the Impact roster. I mean, what are your thoughts on the potential of Tony Storm turning up as part of the Knockouts roster, Joe?
Bring it on. Tony Storm is absolutely incredible. Bring her into the Impact Wrestling. She'll get a better exposure and better performance in Impact Wrestling than she would in AEW. And people are crying for her to go to AEW and that. But she's going to get lost if she goes there. But Tony Storm in Impact Wrestling is what we need, and what she deserves. After the way she was treated at WWE.
Okay.
I don't know what happened there. I just disappeared, and then I signed myself back in again. That was random. So anyway, yeah. So I didn't hear any of that, Joe, but I'm sure it was riveting.
God, it was preaching and all from the heart, and you missed it all.
I missed it all. What are your thoughts on Tony Storm, Steve?
They laughed, and they laughed, and they laughed, and they laughed.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. No,
Is that your thoughts?
I was going to say what Joe said, but obviously only a few of us heard that. But no, I think Storm would be a fantastic pickup for Impact, and she's got a slightly different style that I don't think the Knockouts have right now. And again, another international flavour to the Knockouts division. Is she Australian, New Zealand?
Yes, she's from Australia.
Yeah.
So
maybe it was the Inspiration Girls that have been speaking to her as well.
We're really getting a lot of Australian sort of talent coming in, aren't we? If providing she does turn up, but yeah, I would not say no to Tony Storm turning up. And like you say, contacts providing. We haven't seen Finn Juice for a little while, but given what we've heard, you would like to think that they would be showing back up.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the bottom line is, I think people are starting to take notice. The Knockouts division is if not the best, it certainly is one of the best female divisions in the world.
Yeah.
End of. So if Tony was to come, it would just add more and more wood to the fire of how good it's burning right now. Fantastic. Can I just say a quick hello to Mark?
Yes, good to see you.
Nice to see you, brother. Nice to see you. Paul Nelson's in the house. Good to see Mark. And a quick thank you to Courtney for her super sticker.
She is the fucking greatest.
She is. She is. She definitely is the fucking greatest. So it's great. It's great to have you on the show, darling. Great to have you on the show. So, so with all of that said, we've also got Jay White and of course the Bullet Club pushing Impact. So Gorillas of Destiny, is it Tomatonga and all those guys? They're all pushing Impact Wrestling on social media this week. So that's a good sign, isn't it? That's a really, really good sign that these guys are all pushing their appearances on our show.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Jay especially has been quite vocal about it all, which is great to see. So
Can you hear that? No? Let me turn it up for you.
exactly, that's what they're saying. They're saying that definitely. It's all good. It's all good. Now, what I wanted to talk about very briefly, I don't want to go too crazy on this one, and I'm doing this especially for Courtney because she did ask me if we were going to talk about this, and at the time I was like, hell no. But if Impact had a surprise male entrant in the Royal Rumble, who do we think it could be? Now, for me, I think it would more likely be someone like Rich Swann or possibly Matt Cardona. The reason I'm saying Rich Swann is because he's a former WWE wrestler, obviously, former cruiserweight champion, but because he's small, it would be easy for a few big guys just to chuck him out, and it wouldn't be a. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're going to throw in someone like Big Kaz, for instance, right, or William Morris, W. Morrissey, or whatever, then if they were to chuck him out early, it'd be like, oh yeah, blah blah. But it'd be a bit harder it should be a little bit harder to kick out someone like W. Morrissey or a Moose or one of the bigger guys that we've got. But the other one I was thinking was possibly Matt Cardona, and that's only because obviously he's got such a rich history with the company that he would be recognizable straight away. So what are your thoughts on this one? And I know that Mark is telling us to say fuck the WWE, and I quite frankly I would say fuck the WWE. However, I'm just being nice. I know that Courtney likes the WWE, so let's talk about it.
I'd say Brian Myers would be one. Ace Austin as a surprise entrant that no one would even think about.
Yeah.
Or I like Moose, because Moose has been calling out the guys in WWE, and Moose wants Roman Reigns, or he's been teasing Roman Reigns. So whether that happens or not, I don't think that ever will, because Moose will just kick his ass and Vince McMahon won't have that.
Well, you never know. Thank you very much, Anna. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So Brian Myers, that's a thought. Yeah, Brian Myers could probably be another guy. What about you, Steve? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm on the same lines as you. Like, I think that they would want someone who has history with the company.
I agree.
I don't think they would sort of say, "Oh, can we have someone like Habley Shearer, who has only been in like developmental for a couple of months or whatever." Someone who I think could do it. Maybe the Good Brothers. They've been everywhere this year.
Yeah,
I agree, but I think the Good Brothers are one of the ones that would just tell you that just wouldn't do it. I just can't see them doing it.
No, but when money talks, you know what they're like. But no, I don't.
Money talks.
I don't think anyone on the Impact roster on the men's side would go into the male Rumble. But yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't either. I don't think we'll see anybody, to be honest. But I just wanted to have a little bit of a speculation station going on because I know how much Mira loves a bit of speculation station from the boys. But there you go.
Yeah. And I mean, when it comes to the Rumble, when it finishes, everyone's going to be like, "Who booked this?"
Exactly. They would. Would be. Who booked this shit? But yeah, there you go. So long of stuff interested in there. But there you go, Courtney. A little bit of WWE discussion about the Royal Rumble, especially for you. Let's talk about the digital media exclusive match, fellas. Let's talk about that. So this week it was the Terminus match, DMC Championship, Kiera Hogan versus Jordynne Grace. First thing I want to say is we're seeing Kiera Hogan on Impact Wrestling more than we're seeing her on a contracted company of AEW.
Well, I don't think she's actually fully signed to it. I think she was only there for like a paper appearance contract. You know, a lot of these people that gets announced that they are all elite. They're not there on like multi month contracts. They're there on paper appearance contracts. This is usually why they end up going into dark matches and then nowhere else. So it's the AEW's roster is stacked, but it's stacked with people that aren't there on a huge. Basically, it's like Impact Wrestling but bloated. Really, really bloated, and not just by Tony Khan's ego.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with
or
that
Ethan Page's ego. In fact, Ethan Page's ego is dwarfed by Tony Khan.
My God, have you seen some of the shit he's putting out recently? Oh my God, that dude is up his ass. But anyway, but what are your thoughts on this match, though? Did you watch it? I saw it because I watched Terminus.
No,
I've seen it already.
I saw it. I saw it at Terminus, so I sort of thought, well, I've already seen it.
Yeah, it was a good match.
It's a fantastic match.
It was a really good match. So I'll tell you now, if you didn't watch Terminus, I advise you to go and watch this match because it was very good. Kiera was great. Jordynne was, her usual badassness. It was a good match, and I have to say, make sure you go and check it out. It's exclusive on, it's exclusive for Impact Insider. Is it Impact Ultimate Insiders and Impact Plus subscribers? But it's well worth checking it out if you've got either of those. Good match. I enjoyed it. And spoiler alert: Jordynne Grace wins. Funny that because she's still walking around with it.
It would have been interesting had Kiera won it.
Yeah, can you imagine? Well, she's recently, I mean, in the last couple of weeks, she's had a go at the Knockouts title with Mickey, and then she's had a match now with Jordynne Grace for the DMC title. It's weird. She's getting more title matches now that she's not signed to Impact Wrestling than she did when she was.
Yeah, that's what Critical Singers just said as well. But since going to AEW,
she's ironically got more than Tasha.
Yeah, it's crazy. Thank you, Keith, for that. Really appreciate that, buddy. We're getting a few super stickers today. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. So it's interesting. Zach, so you've just watched that 15 minutes ago. I think it's a good match. I think it's a great match. Yeah. It's definitely worth 15 minutes of anyone's time. And again, like you say, it's a good 15 minutes match. It's not a 5 minute, wham bam, thank you, bam, it's over and done with. It's a good match, some good storytelling being told, some great moves, and again, I miss Kiera Hogan on Impact Wrestling. I have to say,
she was awesome, absolutely incredible.
If there was some way that she could come home, I think I'd be excited about that. Like I say, at a time now where we're sort of kind of building up that Knockouts roster, I think is the perfect time to bring her home. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
Diamante and Kiera Hogan over.
We'll have to wait and see where that one pans out. Now, of course, we've had the BTI match released as well. So we've got, this is going to be an absolute cracker. So I'm assuming that a couple of people in the chat have actually already seen it. So no spoilers, guys. But here we go. Christian Blake versus Laredo Kid. Wow. Thank you, Justin. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So Christian Blake versus Laredo Kid.
Justin. Good to see you.
Yes. Nice to see you, buddy. So this, I don't even need to watch this match to know that this is going to be an absolute cracker of a match. We know Laredo Kid is a badass. We know Christian Blake is a badass. This is going to be a great match. No spoilers if anyone's seen it. But what are your thoughts on what we're going to get from this match? Let's go with Steve on this one first.
I'm really looking forward to this. I mean, it's about a year since we saw Christian Blake in Impact, isn't it? When he was in the Super X Cup. And I was so disappointed that Impact didn't sign him. And
I think there was an offer though. I think there was an offer on the table, and then he decided
they couldn't come to. Yeah, that's what I meant.
He decided to go to the E, didn't he? And then obviously they fucked him off.
Yeah, but this is going to be a fantastic match. We know what Laredo Kid can do, and we know what Christian Blake can do. Yeah. Given that Laredo got the win over Chris Bay and he's on the momentum, I can see him getting the win here and going for the X title at No Surrender. I really can.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. And what about you, Joe? What are your thoughts on this one?
I'm so looking forward to seeing Christian Blake again. He made such a huge impression at the Super X Cup last year. It's good to see him back on Impact Wrestling. And Laredo Kid is one of my favorite wrestlers on the roster. He's been so impressive ever since the GFW era. And I'm Thursday just can't come soon enough. I just want to sit down and watch this match and watch it again and again and again and again.
Oh, I've messed up there. I've written it wrong. It's Blake Christian, isn't it? Not Christian Blake.
Oh no,
that's
Christian Blake's completely different. He's an actor.
That's completely different. Different guy.
He's the guy who played Batman, or was that Christopher Nolan?
No, that's Christian Bale.
That's the one. Yeah. There's too many Christians. There's too many Christians. Someone just hit me with a kill switch and end it.
It's Blake Christian. I apologize. To the TNI faithful, but yeah, it's definitely Blake Christian. But yeah, no, it's good to have this guy on the show. I just like to say a quick hello to Gary. I noticed Gary sneaked in somewhere. Nice to see you, mate. So a lot going on with this one. I think it's going to be a cracker. It's going to be a cracker. We know both guys are top tier wrestlers, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Now, Impact Wrestling have just announced. Now, this is going to be the match of the night. This is the match of the night. It's going to be Johnny Swinger versus Jonah.
This is the good stuff.
This is the good stuff, mate. This is the one. This should be the main event. This is going to be a cracking match.
It's been a bang-orama.
Looking forward to this one. I gotta say this: is Hernandaddy gonna save Swinger in this one? Because I can see Swinger coming out of this one dying. I think he's going to be dead at the end of this match. Johnny Swinger will be dead at the end of this match. So, what are your thoughts on this one, peeps? What are your thoughts on this one? Joe can't contain his laughter on this one. What are your thoughts?
The swing daddy's going to be no more.
The swing daddy, he's going to be done. There'll be nothing. There'll be nothing left of him.
I've just got images of Swinger trying to use all his tactics on Jonah, and it's just like it's not going to work.
No, nothing's going to work on this dude.
So guilty for laughing because he's one of my friends on Facebook, and I'm laughing at him getting his ass kicked by Jonah.
Yeah. It's just if we're going to end up with the swing daddy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I don't see that. I don't see them right.
No, Johnny Swing is going to still be with Impact Wrestling.
I mean, if you remember back to Bound for Glory, the swing man got the biggest pop of the night.
Yeah.
You know.
In Vegas maybe, but he's not going to get that anywhere else.
Yeah, but he is still one of them, someone who I think can offer something to the show. You know,
he certainly offers a comedic value, definitely.
Yeah. They may tweak his character slightly, so it's a little less comedic, but I still think Swinger has a place on the show.
Yeah, possibly. I'm loving Mr. Bones' comment there. Jiminy Christmas. Yeah, it's going to be yeah, we need a Jiminy Christmas in there. Come on, get the bone. You get the soundbite out. We need a Jiminy Christmas. So,
Jiminy Christmas.
I think that's going to be the. Yeah, I agree, Violet. R.I.P. Johnny Swinger. I agree with that. It's match of the night for me. Anyway,
match of the year.
Yeah. We've then got Chris Bay versus.
Are we going to have a bet how long this match goes?
5 seconds at least.
5 seconds. It won't be long. Maybe 10 seconds. It'll push. Just to give Joan enough time to get up to the top rope to do his splash thing. I mean, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so we then got Chris Bay versus Jake something. Now, I've got two thoughts on this one because is Jake on his way out and they're using him as fodder for, to lose, basically? Is Chris Bay going to give him a pounding? Is Chris Bay going to lose? Or is this where we're going to see the Bullet Club come in and save Chris Bay? Thoughts, fellas? Come on. What are your thoughts?
We're definitely going to see the Bullet Club come in because one of the big matches announced for the week afterwards was Ace Austin, Speedball, Mike Bailey, Madman Fulton, and Laredo Kid versus the Bullet Club. So I think Jake Something's going to get the win or get close to getting the win, and then the Bullet Club are going to come in and bail Chris Bay out.
Okay, I think that's going to happen too. What about you, Steve?
I was wondering. I thought originally Bay was just going to get the win, but then when Joe mentioned that, I was like, I think that there is going to be obviously some underhanded tactics, and then that does lead into the four-way. Like, yeah, the Bullet Club get involved, and then Jake realizes, hang on, it's 4-on-1, and then that's how we lead into the four-way. So yeah, I think Bay wins it, but due to the underhanded tactics.
Yep, I agree with that. I think that's where we're going. What are your thoughts in the chat? I know that a couple of you were at the taping, so don't throw us any curveballs or any spoilers. But anyone else who don't know, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think on this one. I think this is where, like you say, we're going to get the introduction of the Bullet Club pretty much straight off the bat on this one, I think. Okay, so we then have the card subject to change Knockouts tag title match, which is the influence of Madison Rayne, Caleb with a K, versus the Inspiration. Now, a couple of people were like, oh, this, what a joke, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, Tennille was unable to attend. So for whatever reason, I don't know. But, Caleb is a great wrestler. Caleb Conley is a great wrestler. Now, even the incredible Hive Queen herself has been big in this one up. Well, as Courtney Rush, she's been big in this matchup on social media, saying that this is a great match. So I don't know. I'm gonna leave this one open, wait and see, and hopefully it's going to be a great match. What do you think, Steve?
I'll see you first. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say originally, I was loving this change. Because, I mean, the Impact did announce that they had a few changes that they had to make. And I thought that this one was fantastic because before we thought about the Rosemary and Decay angle, I thought, because the Inspiration have been playing these mind games, haven't they? Where Tennille can't trust Madison and Madison can't trust Tennille. And now Tennille's not here. Is this a further play where, hang on, Tennille's not here, Madison... where is she? So could this be a further play on that angle? Yeah.
Well, I'm still convinced that Tennille Dashwood is going to become part of the Inspiration. I've thought it all along. I thought that she was going to turn on Madison and, end up being part of the Inspiration. Maybe you're right. Maybe this is how they're going to do it. Maybe it's how they're going to do it. But again, Caleb is a very suitable replacement for Tennille Dashwood, my favorite female wrestler.
I don't know whether to say congratulations or I'm sorry.
As I was saying, my favorite wrestler on the roster. So yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes. I think she's going to turn heel, or she is heel. She's going to turn on Madison and Caleb to join her Australian friends. I'm sure that's what's going to happen here. And we got a lot of people popping in who they'd like to see turn up on Impact. I saw Tony Storm and Big Swole. Someone else is saying they'd like to see Renee Michelle turn back. That would be good. There's lots of really great wrestlers I'd like to see. Now, of course, the last thing that we've got advertised, talking about knockouts, is Mickie James has got a State of the Knockouts address. So I'm interested to hear what she has to say about the Knockouts roster. She's always generally very complimentary about the roster, so it'd be interesting to see what she has to say. What are your thoughts on this one? Yeah, just like that.
It's great to get a big statement before the Royal Rumble from the Knockouts champion. I mean, we can see Tasha Steele come out and make this real nasty and probably set up a match for No Surrender. So that's the angle it's clearly going on, but it's the best way to set the match up for, piss Mickie James off and then have Tasha Steele take her when she's so riled up and she thinks she's going to be so beaten up after this Sunday.
Yeah.
Mickie, it's great to see. I've already gave my compliments on Mickie James earlier, so I don't want to repeat myself too much because we know that tends to happen just once or twice. But Tasha Steele, she was on fire last week. The promo she gave last week was absolutely incredible. So if she could, it's another promo like that, yes, please. I want to see more of that anytime, any day, anywhere. That was just incredible. She burned Mickie James down last week. I can't wait to see what she's got in her arsenal this week.
Yeah, definitely. Gary, I agree. Mia Yim for me all day long. All day long. There's some fantastic.
I know that she's popped up a couple of times as well.
There's some fantastic knockouts out there at the moment that could come in. I'll tell you that now.
Blue back.
So that, I think, guys, I mean, that, the state of Mickie James or the state of the Knockouts roster is pretty much it for this week. Have you got any thoughts on that, Steve, before we sort of kind of wrap things up?
It's kind of just going to be interesting to see what Mickie says because, we don't really know what she's addressing. So, yeah, it's kind of going to be more intriguing to see what she has to say about the state of the Knockouts division. And like Joe said, it could just be a setup to Tasha coming out and setting something up there. Because you assume that the match is going to happen at No Surrender.
That's true, actually. You do assume that, don't you?
Yeah.
It may not, though. It may not. It may be that it could be sacrificed.
It may not. But yeah, you wonder if who else they could. I mean, maybe Chelsea could get in there and they could have Mickie and Chelsea at No Surrender. But something is going to have to be set up, isn't it? So yeah, they haven't got too long. So yeah, it's going to be interesting what happens and what Mickie says.
Yeah, definitely. Can you just pop that up from Hakeem for me, mate? Just letting everyone know about his latest article. He's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, go check it out.
Make sure you go and check out Hakeem's articles. They're really, really good. And that is also with yourself, Steve. I believe you've got a new one coming out tomorrow as well. On
yes.
Wrestle Buddy. Yeah, so
new one will be about just a few things that could happen throughout the rest of the year.
His last one was pretty good. I really enjoyed last week's article. So just make sure you go and check that guys out. Wrestle Buddy, definitely check that out. Please don't forget to head over to the TNI Patreon for exclusive extra content when you sign up. And also make sure you watch tomorrow night's TNI Flagship Impact Live review directly after the show has aired on Twitch and YouTube. Also, all the TNI shows are available for you to listen on the Go fans as audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Where can we find you on the socials, Joe?
You can follow me on Twitter at JKEmptySpace. You can look for #EmptySpace, #The Void, #Daily Giggle on Facebook or Twitter. Jump onto my Facebook profile if you want to in-depth look at the empty space and the void, and enter with an open mind, and you just might keep your sanity.
There you go. What about you, Steve?
You can find me over on Twitter at SimplySteve311, or you can head over to WrestleBuddy and under the Impact Wrestling banner, where you can find all my articles. A new one posted every Thursday.
There you go. And if you're interested in finding out a little bit more of the Bison, I finally hit 1,450 this week. It would be great to hit 1,500.
Oh, baby.
So, if you're exactly, oh baby. So if you're interested in following the Bison, go and check me out on Twitter at Lord Bison 45. Would be great to hit that 1,500 mark by, I don't know, say next week or the week after. It'd be good. I don't know, just as soon as we can. But it would be awesome. Now, please take the time to help us moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us a thumbs up. And if you're new to us and you like what you've seen, don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button. And don't forget to give that bell a tickle, a squeeze, or a smash to never miss any of the TNI UK and US teams' great content each and every single week. Don't forget, if you want to support TNI financially, you can obviously post super stickers on here, which lots of people have been doing tonight, which is fantastic. But you can also head over to our Spreadshirt store, or you've got the prowrestlingtees.com/Total Nonstop Impact, where you can get some great t-shirts. We've got the Bison one on there. We got Look Up the Lord. We got the TNI UK shirt on there. We got the Total Nonstop Impact logo shirts. We got the character shirts. There's at least 6 or 7 shirts on there. Well worth checking them out. Just want to say thank you to Violet for posting a picture. I think she was wearing one, so she's obviously bought a Lord Bison shirt, which is lovely. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Now, with all that said, I've been Bison. They've been Joker and the Simply Steve, and this has been episode 66 of Impacted. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
We're Bison! We